up your arms, sitting up straight. Long, deep breath. And then on an exhale, take your right hand to your left knee and your left hand behind your back. Just a little gentle twist looking over that shoulder. Sitting up straight, using that hand behind your back to help you sit up straight. And then on an inhale, we'll reach up tall again, bringing those hands together. Exhale, opposite hand to opposite knee, looking over that shoulder, using that hand behind your back to sit up straight. Using your gaze to help you get a little deeper into that twist and getting a little bit more of your neck stretch on the other side as well. Good, and then we'll inhale to reach up again. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart center. We're going to go ahead and switch the cross of our legs, so just doing the opposite of what is most comfortable, what we normally do, and we'll just do the same thing. So inhale, shoulders back, sitting up straight, reaching those arms up, staying here for about 2 breaths, reaching up straight, looking up. Exhale, right hand to left knee, left hand behind your back. 2 to 3 deep breaths, looking over your shoulders, trying to get a little bit deeper into the twist on your exhale. And then on an inhale, reaching out and up. Exhale, switch. 2 to 3 deep breaths here. Then we'll inhale, reaching up, finding length. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Good. And then from here, we're just going to come into a child's pose. So you can sit about in the center of your mat. Bring your knees apart the width of the mat. Big toes together, sitting all the way back on your heels. Stretching your arms out. Relaxing your forehead on the mat. A few breaths here. And sit all the way back, stretching those arms out nice. Maybe massaging your forehead side to side on your mat. And then from here, we'll walk the hands over to the right side, bringing the left hand on top of the right hand, but keeping that forehead down and relaxed. And then we'll walk the hands back through to the center, switching sides. Walking over to the left, bring your right hand on top of your left hand. Relaxing the forehead down, feeling the stretch along the right side of your body. Walking your hands back through to the center. From here, lifting up your forehead, drawing the shoulders back, coming up on your fingertips. Like a nice deep stretch here, reaching back, good. And then from here, we'll come up onto our hands and knees. We're spreading out the fingers, making sure your hands are under your shoulders, knees and your hips. We'll go through a couple rounds of cat-cow pose. So inhale to drop the belly, lift the tailbone, looking up. Exhale, start to round your lower back, round your upper back, chin the chest, really exaggerating the movement. Through this cat-cow pose. Warming up your spine, working on your spinal flexibility. And we'll go through about 1 more round of cat-cow. And then from here, you can come to a regular tabletop. Tuck your toes, and we're going to lift our hips up and back to downward facing dog. So from here, finding any movement, maybe pedaling the feet, bringing one heel down, bending the other knee. Maybe moving your hips side to side. Really spread out your fingers. This is going to give you a nice strong base in the hands and protect your wrists. And then from here, we're going to bend the knees a lot, sending our hips back. So keeping the hips low, bending the knees. And then we're going to roll forward to the top of a plank. Good. Define the movement here. We're going to bend the knees, sending the hips back again. Roll forward to the top of a plank, onto your toes. Good. And then we're just going to push back into our downward facing dog. Relaxing the head and neck here. So bring your chin towards your chest. Looking at your knees or up towards your belly button. Sending the hips up a little bit higher. And then from here, start to walk your feet up to your hands, coming to a ragdoll forward fold. Grabbing the elbows, lifting up through the hips, maybe shaking the head, yes and no. Fully relaxing the head and neck, maybe swaying a little bit to each side. Spreading out the toes, maybe bringing your body weight forward and back on your feet. Lifting up a little bit higher through the hips to get lower. From here, we'll come to a half lift. Bring your shoulder blades back, straightening out the legs. So energy, head and neck reaching forward. Good. And then exhale, fold forward. This time, bring your fingertips down towards your toes or lower if you can go lower. And on the inhale, we'll reach our arms out and up. Good. Coming all the way up. Bring your hands together, reaching back a little bit. And then exhale, hands to heart center. From here, we're going to go through sun salutation C. So stepping towards the front of your mat. We'll inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. From here, take a big step back with your left foot. Bring that left knee down. We're setting up for a low lunge. Untuck that foot. Push that back knee back a little bit so we get a nice long stretch. Make sure your front knee's directly over your ankle. Good. And then we'll come up into our low lunge. Reaching those arms up, but sinking the shoulders down and back. Making sure we're not leaning forward. You guys look good. Even really reaching back. And then trying to sink into that front hip just a little bit more. About 3 more deep breaths. Good, and then from here you can bring your hands down to frame the front foot. Tuck the back toe, bring that back knee up off the mat. Step your front foot back to the top of the plank. So pause, having a nice strong plank, shoulder blades apart. From here, we're going to come down onto our knees, lower down chaturanga, elbows going straight down, and then push your knees away from you so that we're all the way on the stomach. I know, it's kind of strange, right? This is the sun C. And then squeezing those elbows together, pointing the toes, coming into our cobra, lifting up head, neck, and chest. Exhale to come back down. Briefly pushing into a tabletop or even trying a reverse push-up and then coming into downward facing dog. And we'll stay here, 5 breaths, resetting. So lifting those hips up high, spreading out the fingers. Trying to bring your heels down towards the mat. They don't need to touch or even come close to touching, but the energy is reaching down to stretch out your calves. And then from here, we're going to bend our knees, look up to your hands. You're going to bring the left knee up into your chest and try to bring that foot all the way through your hands. Perfect. Doesn't make it, just grab it, bring it up. Bring the back knee down, untuck that back foot. And then when you're ready, bring that back knee back. We'll come into our low lunge, taking your time. Good. So shoulders down and back, but still reaching up tall. Maybe even try to reach back. And then sinking into that front hip. Perfect, good job. 3 more deep breaths, using your breath to help you focus in the pose. Good, and then go ahead and bring your hands back down. We're gonna tuck the back foot, bring the back knee up off the mat. This time we're stepping forward. So stepping your back foot to the front. Coming into forward fold, just pausing here for 1 or 2 breaths. And then on an inhale, we'll reach out and up, coming all the way up, bringing our hands together, maybe reaching back a little bit, and then exhale, bringing your hands to heart center. Awesome, good job. All right, from here, we're just gonna come to seated, so you can just cross your legs, come to sitting down on the mat. That was our little warm up. So from here, we're going to do a nice seated twist. So go ahead and take your left foot in front of you, and you can cross your right foot over your left, above your left knee. We want to try to press the whole pad of that book down onto the mat. Good. And then take your right hand behind your back. Reach your left arm up long, so lengthening that spine. Yeah, so perfect. And then you're going to bring the opposite elbow to the opposite knee, or just kind of looking, right? Looking over your shoulder. Yeah, so you're doing it right. Yeah, so opposite. Yeah, opposite. Yeah, you're doing it right. So on an inhale, use that hand behind your back to help you sit up straighter and lengthen your spine. And then on an exhale, look over that shoulder, trying to get a little deeper into the twist. And we'll stay here for about 5 deep breaths. These twists are really good for releasing tension in our lower back, for energizing our body, and just for overall spinal flexibility. Seeing if you can go just a little bit deeper in your twist, staying active. Good, and then we'll just come back here to the center and we'll switch sides. There's actually, before switching sides, let's just go ahead and do it like a transition pose, just kind of twisting on the other side, whatever feels good. So nothing in particular here, just a counter stretch. Maybe coming down onto your forearms. Good, and then we'll come back up and taking the opposite foot out, so your right foot, or whatever's the opposite foot, bringing that other foot up in towards you, pressing that whole pad down, bringing your left hand behind your back, reaching up, lengthening that right arm to sit up straight, and then either hugging the elbow over the knee or bringing the elbow above the knee. Inhale to use that hand behind you to sit up a little bit straighter. Exhale to look over your shoulder, keeping your right foot flexed and engaged. About 5 deep breaths here. Good, and then coming back through the center, we'll just do that counter pose, so going over to the other side. Just whatever feels good, maybe coming down to your forearms. Just a little counter twist. Good. And then from here, we're going to come up and just come into a wide-legged seat. Yeah, just taking this like that wide, flexing the feet. We can use a block here if you have a block, but it's not necessary. So kind of maybe moving the flesh out from underneath you to sit up straighter, drawing the shoulders back, and trying to hinge forward from starting out at least from your hips. So even if you don't get very far, using that block, even it can even be here or here, depending on how flexible you are. But try to keep that back straight as you come forward, keeping those feet flexed. Do whatever variation you want, maybe grab the big toes. And then as we get a little bit more into the pose, you can start to round a little bit more to get deeper. So start to relax. If you want, you can relax your shoulders a little bit more, round your back a little bit. We're going to hold it here for about 5 more deep breaths. And then you can start to walk your hands back up. Bring your feet together. Just kind of shake out those legs. And then when you're ready, we're going to come up into a tabletop again, coming into puppy pose or melted heart pose. So this one, you're going to keep your hips up high over your knees. You can come down on your forearm, first level, and then start to reach those arms up long, bringing maybe the forehead all the way down. Or, if that's pretty easy for you, try to bring the chin down, or the ultimate goal bringing your chest down. But keeping those hips up high. So this deep shoulder stretch. So we're working on stretching your shoulders here. Good. Back to your breath. Good, and then you can start to come up, walking your hands back. Awesome. So from here, we're going to come into downward facing dog, but we're just going to be here just briefly. So lifting those hips up and back, spreading out the palms, and we're going to set up for our pigeon pose. So bring your right foot up and back for a three-legged down dog, reaching it up high, pressing through the hand, and then you're going to come forward, bringing the right knee behind the right wrist, and walking that right foot over to that other side. And then bring that back knee back. Yeah, and for some people, it might not go that far, it might be like this, that's fine. So wherever it naturally goes, bring that back foot back. Check your back foot, make sure it's not off to the side, it's just straight behind you. And then if you want, you can kind of start coming into an upright pigeon, drawing those shoulder blades back, trying to sit up tall. And then from here, we'll come down to a resting pigeon. So from here, try to just release any tension that you can. We're going to hold this for about 1 minute or between 1 and 2 minutes. So just relaxing here, maybe softening the face. Back to your breath. Try not to hold anything too tense or too tight in this pose, just trying to release. You can start to come up onto your hands. We're going to tuck that back foot, and we're going to try, you might have to tap the toes down, but try to come back into that three-legged down dog. If you need to bring that foot down, no problem. Just bring it back up, and then doing some hip circles. So bending the knee, just going around maybe 2 or 3 times in one direction, 2 or 3 times in the other direction. Good, and then we'll bring that foot down, coming back into just a regular down dog. And then three-legged down dog on the other side, left foot up and back, holding it there for an extra breath or two, pressing into that three-legged down dog, reaching up high, and then bringing the left knee behind the left wrist, and the left foot out to the other side. Good. Taking your time to set up or adjust, bringing that back knee back, checking, making sure that foot's straight behind you. Maybe starting out upright, so drawing the shoulders back, looking up, and then taking your time lowering down. Sure. Resting pigeon pose. So this is a deep hip opener, and it's really good if you're at the office during the day and sitting down a lot. Our hips tend to get really tight, so this is a great pose for just releasing that tension, opening up the hips a little bit. So we'll just relax here and stay here for a little while. Coming back to your breath. from here, you can push back up onto your hands, tucking that back toe in, maybe trying to lift to a three-legged down dog, or just coming into a regular down dog, and then lifting that foot up. Bending at the knee, doing a few hip circles 2 or 3 times in one direction, 2 or 3 times in the other direction. Good, and then just coming into regular down dog. A few breaths here. And then you can drop down onto your hands and knees. Great, from here we're gonna make our way onto our back, but make sure your blocks are nearby. You can start with your feet in front of you, and we'll just do a roll down, so just using our core. So reaching your arms out, shoulders back, and then you're going to start to tuck your tailbone, rolling down slowly. Trying to use your core as low as you can. Good. And then nice long stretch between your fingers and your toes. And then from there, you can go ahead and hug your knees into your chest. And just do some little circles, massaging your lower back onto the mat. A few times in one direction, a few times in the other direction. Good. And then from here, we're going to come into a supported bridge pose. So bending the knees, feet down, heels towards you. Go ahead and take your block, and we'll put it at about the medium height out here. And then we're just going to lift up our hips, putting it underneath, not quite under our glutes, more towards our sacrum, finding a place that is somewhat comfortable. You can hold it there. So from here, keeping the palms open, shoulders back, lifting the chin up away from the chest. We're just going to stay here for about 5 breaths. And then from here, just being careful, taking your left leg out long, bring your right knee in towards your chest. So trying to grab that right knee to pull it in towards you, still staying on that block. Good. And just feeling that openness through your left groin or your left leg. And then from here, you can bend the left knee. We're going to bring the right ankle to the left knee, coming up into a figure 4 stretch. So just being careful on the block, maybe interlacing your hands behind your left thigh, if possible, or you can keep that knee down. Both stretching out the foot down. Stretching out the hip a little bit to the left, maybe rolling your ankles a few times. Good, and then we'll bring it foot back down, and we'll go ahead and switch sides. So bringing the left knee in towards your chest, and then trying to straighten out the right leg. So bringing it up high towards you. About 5 deep breaths, just letting the right foot open up to the side. And then bending the right knee, bringing the left ankle to the right knee. They're just staying here, energetically pushing that left knee back, or bringing that right foot up into a figure 4 stretch. And releasing your hands behind your leg. right, good. From here, take your arms out to the side, or cactus arms. Bring your knees in towards your chest. And we're going to take both knees together over to the right side, dropping them down to the right. Allowing your hips to come up, but keeping your shoulders down, so it's a lower body twist. And then looking towards your left to get more of a neck stretch. And then keeping your arms out to the side, bring your knees back in towards the center. And then drop the knees over to the other side. And then switching your gaze to the opposite direction of your knees. Yeah, moving the blocks off to the side. Back in through to the center. This time, bring your hands to each knee, right hand to right knee, left hand to left knee. Bring your knees apart, flexing your feet. So we're starting in our happy baby pose. And then bringing our feet up. And you're reaching for the outside or even inside of the feet, whichever's comfortable. Drawing the knees down towards the mat, but also pressing your lower back into the mat. And then gently rocking side to side. Stretching out one leg long, and then the other. Good. All right, and then you can just bring your knees back in towards your chest. So we're just going to push ourselves up to seated just briefly. And we're going to set up for our Shavasana, but coming into a restorative pose for Shavasana, opening up our heart and chest. So we're going to kind of set up our blocks a little bit like this, and then we may need to adjust them. And let me kind of show you where we're going. So we're going to bring this block here between our shoulder blades, and then drop our head back onto this block here. It's going to look something like this, and you might need to adjust it. And it's not going to be like super comfortable, but what it's doing is it's opening up your shoulders and your chest, reversing that rounding posture. And then with our feet, so one thing you can do is bring your feet together, kind of like in our butterfly stretch. And then just allow your knees to drop to the side. If that's uncomfortable, just feel free to just bring your feet out long. Because this is our relaxation portion of Shavasana. And just keep your palms open. I'm going to turn the lights off. Using the last few minutes just to completely relax. Finding some stillness. Stillness in your mind, to your body. Just giving into the relaxation. Being able to be still and relaxed and easy is also just as important as being able to do all the things that we do that require all our energy and movement. start to notice your breath again. You're taking a nice long inhale in through your nose, exhale through your mouth. And then you can gently just press your hands back up, taking your time. Slowly lifting up your head. Come to seated. Good. Just removing the block. Good. And then we'll just finish just take a deep breath. Bring your hands together. Bring your shoulders back. Finishing with 3 deep breaths. And then as we breathe in, we'll just lift our arms and our hands up. And exhale, bring your hands back down. Again, inhale, reaching up. And exhale. We'll do that one more time. Good. Bring your hands back down. And I just want to thank everyone for coming, taking time out of your day this afternoon. I hope you have a great weekend. Namaste. Good job. Last one was a little intense, but I have it on the station.